let's bring Kelly Zitlow on stage. So Kelly, first of all, I think there's some things that you said on Mortgage Coach Clubhouse yesterday morning that you might want to just repeat because we're recording it. But we're here to get the Mortgage Coach community, call-in agents, doing anything and everything they should be doing in the month of April as we kick off spring home buying season. One, tell everybody what you're doing in the market right now, what kind of production you're doing, and then share some ideas on how you're going to help realtors.
Well, thanks for having me, Dave. So let's see, as far as production goes, we're closing about 40 to 45 transactions a month right now. And what I'm doing, I'm like super excited about this because having been in the Modern Mortgage Summit, I already kind of know the lay of the land, and I found such value in that personally, that this is just an easy and a no-brainer to present to the real estate community. So, that's really the context of how I'm saying, guys, like, you cannot miss this, right? In fact, I just got off the call with an agent on my drive in this morning, and that was really the conversation. So what I did was I took your little 2-minute video, I've added a text from me, just really a testimonial about it. And I'm texting that to my top agents. So that's like the first step. The next step is we'll go broader and we'll take that same video with a text from me and we'll attach a slide dial, and that one will go out to the masses so we can get more bandwidth, because I'm not going to be able to call 800 people. But I definitely want to make sure that our agents get a personal phone call from me, because then I can really have this type of conversation. So I watched that video too a couple of times just prior to making those calls, because there's some really good takeaways and some phraseology that some of those agents are using in there. And I think that we can just kind of reiterate that when we're having discussions, because we know with our agents where their pain point is. We know if they're trying to grow a team. We know if it's digital or social. So then we can just kind of pick up on that and then piggyback on whomever was saying that in the video. So that's my strategy.
I love it. I love it, Kelly. So you're text videoing, you're sending the 2-minute commercial, which I'm going to play in just a second. You're slide dialing, you're calling people. I do want to remind folks, in order to make this compliant, you need to be giving these tickets to both partners and prospects. So don't buy a bunch of tickets and just give them to your biggest referral partners. That would not be a good RESPA idea. Buy the tickets, give them to everybody. Now, where you spend your time, like, I think you should spend your time calling your best prospects and calling your best customers. And then I like what Kelly's doing. Let's use technology. When we interviewed Jonathan Roach a couple days ago, Todd and I did on Friday, he said, do text videos. So I think that's a great idea. Send a 2-minute video of the commercial, which I'm going to play, and maybe do a text video. Great way to leverage your time and personally connect. So Kelly, let's play the video. And then I want to have you pull out what you thought was, kind of some talking points that you did. Check out the commercial, everybody.
Super excited to be speaking at the Modern Real Estate Summit on April 21st.
Probably one of the greatest events we're going to see come down the pipe towards us in 2021 in our industry.
Todd Bookspan and Dave Savage have pulled together an unbelievable group of modern real estate advisors to share the tips and tactics that are working for them in 2021.
I am going to talk to you about how you build that core conviction inside your core, turn that into perception, turn that into reputation, and create the best personal brand you can as a top real estate agent.
We have 32 of the top real estate practitioners and leaders in the United States speaking TED Talk style.
What we're all going to be sharing with you on the stage, the screen that day, is going to prepare you with all the tools you need to be successful going forward in your business and make sure that you're evolving in the midst of what feels like for many disruption.
You are going to hear from remarkable speakers, industry leaders who are sharing their playbook.
I'm going to be speaking on grow big, grow fast, grow profit.
I'm going to be talking to you about virtual and how we use virtual and digital and social to superpower our brand.
I am so excited to share how we built the Figueroa team and continue to scale our business through technology, branding, and development of agents.
I'll be talking about social media. I'll be talking about growing your social media audience. I'll be talking about engagement.
I'll be sharing with you a bit of information on the intelligence war, the difference between artificial intelligence and emotional intelligence, and what it is you're going to need to succeed in 2021 and beyond.
Realtors, it's time to take the power back. This is the greatest opportunity in the history of mankind to To be a marketer, you have disruption. This is a time for trailblazers. So I'm going to give you strategies that I have seen work and play out for the best realtors all across the country.
I'm going to be there. Our whole Housing Wire and Real Trends teams will be there in full force. We hope to see you on April 21st. Have a great one.
Boom. Leadership, value, advice for real estate agents. So super proud of this event. I do want to add one thing before Kelly goes next. And this came out like my number one takeaway from the interview, Todd, that we did with Jonathan Roach. He said something to the effect that if you're local and you're referral based, your energy and your vibe is your number one value proposition. And I was just like, oh my God, that's so true. Like your energy and your vibes, like it's not just the words that you say, the scripts that you have, the text that you have. It's like the energy and vibe behind it. We're going to ask Kelly to share some of her words, some of her tactics, but I guarantee when she does it, there's going to be a very magnetic energy and vibe behind it. It's the energy behind that that's going to make the difference. So with that said, Kelly, what were your takeaways from that and what leadership do you have for everybody?
Well, some of the things that I really liked was Veronica Figueroa. I mean, she is a monster of an agent and a team lead. And she said the word playbook, grow team, scale team, and brand. And I think all of that for real estate agents is on point. So I cannot wait to see what she is going to share. I've met her before, and I mean, she is talk about energy. That girl brings it. So super excited about that. Certainly, I think Beth or Seth does such a great job in the virtual space. And that is just really, that's the next step for a real estate agent to be known, to, be the digital mayor of their community. And so many of them are still kind of just like, So I know Seth is going to share some great takeaways that will help people maybe just get off the fence and do something in the digital space. So I think that's really important. And then I love the fact that the lab coat guys are going to be there as well as Housing Wire. So I think that gives a little bit of credibility in that space outside of just powerhouse agents.
So Kelly, if you don't mind, you said you sent out a mass text. If you could just give us a vibe of how that sounds. And then Stover, I'm going to bring it to you next for any questions you have for Kelly or any Stoverization that you want to do for what she does.
Yeah. All right. So essentially I just sent your little thingamajigger, your little cute video that I love, and way to, head off with Ryan. He's always awesome for that. And then I just said this, I said,
I love that. Stover, any comments or thoughts?
Well, I wouldn't mess with that.
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
Why?
Perfect.
Yeah.
Any leadership, like, Stover, you're always good at not just giving people scripts, but giving people a compass to create their own. Like that was Kelly's, but like, what would you tell to everybody else when you go to do that mass text or you go to make a phone call? Give them a compass or some thinking so that they can kind of create their own.
Yeah. So there's a universal structure, goes all the way back to Plato forward. Every great sales writer uses it. Salespeople use it instinctively. Kelly used it in this. And anybody that's heard me before on your chats has heard it, and it's star, chain, hook. Those are your three elements. Star, boom, something to get their attention right off the bat. So lead with something attention, and usually that's going to be a benefit or payoff to your listener. Two is the chain. Usually it's problem solution. Hey, it's a tough market right now, but you're going to learn all these great nuggets. There's the solution, right? So the problem is a tough market or inventory or trying to convince a buyer to overbid on a strategy is really tough right now. And you're going to hear how top agents are dealing with that right now using technology at the Mortgage Marketing Summit. So there's your problem solution. That's your chain. And then hook. So what she said, click below, right? There's your call to action. That's your hook. So if somebody's structuring this stuff and like, oh, what do I do? Just start off like, what's going to get my audience's attention for a realtor in a text? What's going to get their attention right off the bat? The follow up to that is, okay, what's the problem solution sequence, the chain, and then what's my hook? What I want them to do? Do I want them to call me? Do I want them to text me back and go, I'm in? Just text me back and my team will handle it. Tell me you're in, So whatever your call to action is, do it. So star, chain, hook. That's the universal structural framework of all persuasive pieces.
Love, love, love that. So Kelly, before you go, I want to also know if you were calling someone, and I think it's easy to call your partner, if it's someone and you got a relationship, that's like everybody can figure that out. But if you were going to call a whale, that someone you want to do business with, but you don't have quite the same relationship with, I personally think you might want to, whether you're on the phone with them or not, you might want to text the commercial, because that commercial just kind of like tells a story. But what would it sound like if you called a whale and you either wanted them to come watch it at your office, at your viewing party, which, by the way, guys, she's going to do a viewing party, or you want to give them a ticket? What would that conversation sound like? And you can just give us like the outline to what you would say to a whale.
Well, I think first I would just start by edifying them or creating a triangle of trust. So how do I know them, right? Is it just because I've heard of them, or were they a listing agent on a cross sell? So I have a pretty extensive database, and I always kind of back into the audience. Do I know them? Do I not know them? And so depending on that, obviously, if there is a triangle of trust, I would just piggyback off of that and just say, hey, Jill Wright over at Chicago Title told me that you are amazing. And I know we've worked together in the past. I wanted to share with you this great event that's coming up. Watch your text. I just sent it over. Ryan Serhan's going to be there, as well as great agents from across the country. And I just think it's going to be awesome. So I'd love to invite you to be my guest. That's kind of how I would do it.
Anything you want to add to that, or any framework for the crew?
She's nailing it. I'm not going to mess with greatness. I would add, so one of my questions on all this is, all right, so I've reached out to somebody new. I got them to do a ticket. They went to the event. The real magic's going to happen on the backside of this. When their eyes are open to, like when, the mortgage coach guys share some stuff that how they can get a buyer to overbid and things like that. I would want to ask Kelly, what's the game plan for following up on?
So when we did the Modern Mortgage Summit, we had a 30-day, everybody that tuned in had a 30-day. Are you guys doing the same thing with this?
Yeah, we're going to have the 30-day, and we're also going to create like summary of notes. So literally we're going to arm everybody with here's takeaways, here's notes.
Yeah. So what I'm telling, I'm so glad you said that, because I'm already telling people they'll have a 30-day access to it, so they can go back and tune in if they missed any part of it. But my debrief and my takeaway or the follow-up is really just, hey, don't miss so-and-so. Oh my gosh, so-and-so, like that's how I'm going to be leveraging the follow-up, and then just getting face-to-face, so Brian Nora talked about whatever. I know this is something you really wanted to focus on in your business. Let's get together and strategize. So that'll be the takeaway.
Thank you so much for coming in, and you're always just an incredible leader in this community. So thank you, Kelly.
Thanks for having me. Bye, guys.